Hello, YouTube fans and friends, new recruits and veterans to the channel. A slight departure from Scourge things today. This is Manor Lords. It's a new favorite. I started a new settlement recently. Things have gone pretty well. I want to show you what I've managed to accomplish so far. Before we dive in, I would love the support. If you can click the like button, comment, or subscribe, it helps the video, helps the channel, and helps this great game, Manor Lords. So, welcome to this latest creation, born out of our home settlement here in the Nusslohe region. It's a burgeoning small town in-game. The lush landscape which surrounds, providing all the sustenance we require. Much industry built here too, thanks to a very lucky start. Our first real stop on this flyover tour of the realm is to Boswius, I think. Boswius. Most recent land grab. Try to incorporate the fixed in-game property assets here in a blended scheme, along with burgages and other infrastructure to try to get at least a believable final look. You can see one of our new fishermen's huts here, the other located very nearby. And there's much more hidden beneath those trees. A bustling game and wild hunting community just to the west of the main village. Much of the meat enjoyed by the people in Nusslohe town originates from these camps right here. We did add some militia troops to guard this area as well. We're now flying back southeast toward the big town, passing over this newer stone quarry. Also, many vital pack stations for bartering critical goods are located in and around this area. You can see I've also added some sheep farms out in the periphery of town. They've not seen success yet in the breeding or feeding or the cultivation, aside from some wool here and there. Until finally we arrive at the all-important mill and bakery. These two assets come very much in handy once winter hits, grinding our stored grain into flour for baking bread in the colder months. Here you get a good overview of the way this main town center has laid out through my gameplay thus far. I understand this progress to represent about 35 hours in game. I've managed a few level 3 residences in the main town center near the church, as you can see. There's the upgraded church itself, standing tall and bright in the sunlight there. Definitely love the look of that. Let's take a look closer at some of those structures. You can see I've targeted them in a specific way because there are industries attached to each of them. One here is a butcher's shop. And to look at the advanced tab, you can see that we're making meat out of sheep and lamb that we collect at that shop. I've got another one of those right there, just down the road, that's a level 2, alongside the bowyer's shop. You see it, the butcher shop. There's another one. And then the rest of our downtown area with the brewery. Of course, we would put that here. Doing pretty good making our malt into ale, but we're going to bring the reserve down a bit. We don't need to have quite that much on reserve. Malt coming in from outside. Here's our other butcher's shop. We'll be upgrading these burgages soon. Now on to, I hold this area near and dear. It is our berry production. I'm calling my realm the realm of berry. It's been our main commodity. It's both helped us survive through several years, as well as now help source material for our all-important clothing and dyes. I love berries, at least in this particular run. Next, the other lucky start was with this iron mine. A rich deposit iron mine, which I was able to turn into a deep mine and unlock unlimited iron ore production for the entire playthrough. That's been a huge get, and it's helped me develop these little blacksmiths that I positioned right near the iron mine. I thought that might make smithy sense. We have another one over here, a third blacksmith, and they all produce a variety of weapons that we end up mostly exporting for regional wealth. And a look up toward downtown there. Pretty cool. A lot of vegetables grown. These are some of our early homes after we burgeoned in growth earlier in game. We also added a bunch of goat farms, markets spreading out throughout the periphery toward the manor house. And you see another, that was our second church that we added. As town grows, you have to grow the various public services with it, just like in any other city builder. And to look at it from every angle, frankly, I just like looking at the dang game sometimes with Manor Lords. It's part of what sucks you in and keeps you interested. Plus, some of the way the economy works. Over the hill and into the next valley, we have a major source of support for the main town of Nusslohe, and that is our farming community in Leidenfeld. We had expanded to this region first and began its development pretty early on, right after we were able to capture another region. And we've got a whole mix of crops spread across this region. As you can see, barley, wheat, flax is in there. We've got a lot of families working the farms in the farmhouses of this area. I've done a nice job too here of mixing in some of those awkward looking burgage plots, using road plotting in curvy ways to come up with what I think can be some really representative looking communities out here. And we've got more fields planned for this area. Another look at it from over at this angle, coming south to north. It's important because I will be very interested in expanding, very likely into Hagensteig here. As you can see, there are two rich deposits. One is an iron deposit. The other is a stone deposit. Once I get deep mining on both of those, I get unlimited iron and stone from those as well. It's an exciting prospect, no doubt. We are doing the day-night cycle for this little flyover here, and I'm not loving how when it turns dark in-game, you don't see any little bright lights anywhere in the town. That's strange. I'm pretty proud of this way this came together. Again, I'm blending the manor assets, tower, garrison tower, with burgages to try to come up with a, what I think would be a representative little, manor chateau up here in the hills, overlooking our newest settlement out here at Am Eierbach, way north of our main town, down the valley. You can see here, there's a little river that runs through it. I love this part of the map. Just look at the color and the realism. It really is just fun to look at this game while you're playing it. Can't farm as much at this community out here. We don't have the plow yet at our farmhouse, so we have to limit the size of our agriculture operations. You can see we've set up a real basic blocked out system for the residents of Am Eierbach here, who are doing all the farming work, and we've also put a new militia unit of archers in to guard this area in case raiders come through, which they do as you get into mid-game play. And of course, for those threats, we have our main manor house for the Lord of the realm, and again incorporated some burgages, the church nearby with the granary and storehouse. We're going to try to turn this burgage specifically into, I think, later on, a vegetable patch or eggs production center. And I think I did all right there. You can see our wealth growing. Taxes at 30% with our tithe at 7 here in the main town. We'll bring the tithe down to 5. But yeah, that's come out pretty well there. I like our approval rating right now. We could probably afford a little bit of a tax hit. Food looks decent variety. We could buy more, but I want our regional wealth to stay high. Here is just a kind of a unique little thing I wanted to do on either side of this well that you see in the center of the hillside there. The twin approach and departure for the Lord's Manor. Something unique, just something that smacked my head, and I thought I'd do it. One thing that I did want to show too, kind of in a planning vein, is what's possible for farming in my regions. This one, not great. This is Bolsheviks again, over here with hunting and fishing, but they do have some rye capability later in the game, probably pretty far late game. So I'll be angling for rye production in this region for sure, because it's going to be another region that feeds our realm. As you can see, this area here will probably be urbanized for the most part as we make that progress. We can use all the forestry and timber cutting and wood cutting to help us in that effort along the way. But this here, until we get there, these two regions, Leidenfeld and Ameyerbach, are our breadbasket forever. And hopefully they don't get harmed in a war or by raiders at any point too badly. Again, over here at Hagensteg, the one I want to take, it's not got much for us except rye. Late game, we'll be able to grow rye here, which means we'll probably have to have another pretty big-sized town, which means we'll need to feed that many more people. So it'll be a delicate balance moving forward in feeding everybody. Of course, feeding the industry of it all still is timber, and we have 3 spots. 1, and then on this hilltop out here, 2, and we have 2 logging camps here. These are churning constantly. And this 3rd location here that's trying to work more toward the north and east in the forest that way. Coming in behind is our forester's hut environmental effort to try to replant some of what we're cutting down behind us, because there are some wooded areas that I like to keep around the town. Here's one of those sheep farms that's not producing the way that we had hoped. A 2nd and a 3rd. This pasture space that we have added is in preparation for them breeding, because we did select that as our latest development point. For some reason, the families that we are assigning to those sheep farms aren't taking up any sheep and bringing them back to be bred. We have deep mining. That was a huge get, like we talked about, enabling the building of infinite iron production, clay production here. Very lucky start in this region, as you can see. I figure it's worth it to go through each town's development tree thus far. So Leidenfeld as a farming community, we go with the heavy plow. Enables plowing oxen at the farmhouse for significantly faster plowing of large fields. We need to get to level 2 or higher to advance to the next level and probably work our way. I don't know what exactly we want to do next in Leidenfeld, frankly. I don't know. All of these farming options are pretty attractive for Leidenfeld, and I could get into it. Rye cultivation seems to be the way that I would want to go anyway. I don't know, though. But we come over to Ameyerbach, and it's basic. On this one, we went with a boost for berry production because we needed it at the time. Right now, you can see that berry production with the check mark underneath it right there. What I want to do next is to get the heavy plow going here in Ameyerbach. That's a for sure development point spend coming up. No doubt about it. It will be what allows for the farming out here to flourish, which will help eventually the entire rest of the realm. This one, trade logistics, this is the one I think I might end up using a little more. Maybe sooner than later back in the big town in Nusslohe. That's on Meyerbuck. You can see that rich berry deposit. I had another one of those. And then back here in Boswias, we have lots of stuff, but our next development point, which probably will be here sooner rather than later. This is a tough one to decide on because I honestly think advanced pawn keeping is the one. It doubles the maximum. Yeah. We need to just have 2 level 2 or higher, right? So we just have to add a church and a few other things, some stalls, and get a couple of level 2 burgages, and we'll be in business over here. See that church, clothing stall, and fuel stall supply. So plenty of food stall. We got plenty of food over here. Just got to up the fuel stalls and the storehouse and the clothing, and we'll really be banging on all cylinders there in Bolsheviks. Yeah, royal tax increase, okay. That's always something that you're chasing in the game. And I guess that'll pretty much wrap it up for this episode. Again, a departure from my main Scourge efforts right here. It's Manor Lords. I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you. Click the like button, comment, subscribe to my channel, Alternate History Gaming. And, of course, I'll see you on the next big video release. I'm BankSixdeis. Later.